So when we're getting into hyperlocal targeting, you really can, you want to study where the potential is in your area. And it could be looking at a city and breaking it down by neighborhood or zip codes. Because as I mentioned, like Google doesn't just rank you one spot all over the city. It's every mile or two, it ranks you differently. So you want to figure out where the areas of opportunity are in that very specific market. So many of you have probably seen these geogrids. They're great ways to look at a business and see how you can where you are in a market in different areas, and then how you can progress. So example, this is a client where they were ranking really well. In the middle is their physical location. And then we basically added hyperlocal pages to their site, and suddenly they were ranking all over the city. Really paid off for them. Doesn't work quite this way every time, but this one really did. So basically, in this case, what you can see is in the case of Mosquito Authority, right? Basically, you can add a page that that targets, the wherever, so Alliance, Ohio, or something, and you can not instantly, but you can improve your ranking. And so sometimes when you're looking to squeeze out a few clicks for a client, like you've done everything, like this is a great way to go, oh, here's a little more extra we can do. Let's go after this very niche area. But there's a downside to hyperlocal pages. So as an example, Home Depot tends to have 3 hyperlocal pages on its location pages: home services, truck rental, and garden center. If you click on those, they all go to subpages for a city. And if you just looked at the SEMrush data, you would say, oh, wow, these are great. When they launched them, they suddenly were generating about 50,000 clicks a month, which is pretty good. But if you scrub out all of the brand queries containing the word Home Depot, it only equates to about 8,000 clicks a month if this data is accurate. And we see this across the board, especially with sites that have decently, strong brands. When you add these pages, the majority of the traffic cannibalizes existing traffic and fools you into thinking they're really cranking. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't build these pages, because even though the truck rental page might not get a lot of SEO traffic, it's a very highly qualified page, and people want to know about truck rental, so you should have the page regardless. But you need to be cognizant that these pages may not be a source of significant net new traffic. And I think we see a lot of people kind of ignore this or not realize this when they launch these things. Let's see, I'm not going to blow through that. So let's go to just some GBP stuff. I'm not going to go into extensive, like here's everything you need to know about Google Business Profile. I'm going to go into some very specific things that we've noticed, specifically behavioral signals is something we've been testing for a while. Because it's the one thing that's like theoretically outside of your control. So you can control links, you can control reviews, you can control your images and on-page stuff. But how can you get people to click on you more or search for you more? Well, it turns out it's not outside of your control if you're sneaky. So we got tired of, let's call them black hats or more aggressive SEOs kind of eating our lunch by using methods that Google would frown upon. So we did a test. We built a bot that can basically do localized queries and turned it on to a website. So basically, this is a self-storage company in San Diego. And starting the week of April 6th, we had our bot go in from appearing to be in different locations in San Diego and click and basically search the word storage and then click on our client's GBP in the local pack. And we did that. We figured out how many searches per month, on average, these queries were getting. And we did basically a lower number than that. Like we didn't want it suddenly to be an overwhelming number of storage queries clicking on this guy. Like there's 100 a month. Let's say we did about 10 for this guy. And within 30 days, they went from number 2 in their location for storage to number 1. And they didn't do anything else. They didn't get more reviews. They didn't get more links. They didn't do anything. It's purely because of this behavioral bot thing. So we proved that, and this is a data point of one, but we did it across enough locations and enough keywords that we're like, yeah, this kind of works. It's going to vary by geo and by industry in competitiveness. So low competition, relatively low search queries, and low I don't even know, maybe not even smaller markets, but in some markets it seems to work better than others. But it's definitely a thing. Let's see, what else can we tell you? Definitely, I would optimize the crap out of your services. So go into GBP and add as many services as you can. We see it have we see it have an impact. Oh, I'm not going to go through all these. You can read these at your leisure. One of the things that's important with Google business profiles is Google tends to automatically overwrite your data often. So this is a client that has thousands of locations, and we created a Slack bot that we call it Squirrel, that basically will every day report on changes to Google business profiles for a location group. And you can see on Wednesday, May 17th, this client had 2,061 Google updates, meaning Google changed the data on 2,000 of their GBPs. And so in this case, we just downloaded a CSV, looked at what all the changes were, basically deleted the ones we didn't like and kept the ones we liked, uploaded it back to GBP in about a minute, and the updates were accepted or rejected. So if you're working with a lot of locations, our recommendation is you need to have a system like this, because, or else maybe you get an email that you missed, or it goes to like a shared email, or you just miss it completely, and you need to stay on top of this. So self-serving shameless promo, the link at the bottom goes to our site, Squirrel AI. We're in alpha testing for this thing. It's a totally free thing, but if you want to check this out for your clients, just hit up the forum and contact me, and we'll send you an invite. You can use it for yourself.
Now, if you liked this ClearScope webinar snippet, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe so you don't miss out on more great tips and strategies from the industry's best SEOs and content marketers. Make sure to check out the ClearScope YouTube channel for more great content.